Okay, we're doing 10 questions with Bethany from Best Coast. Where exactly did you grow up?
I grew up in La Crescenta, which is like the little suburb. It's basically Glendale, so I'm like a valley girl at heart. I still live like in that area, so yeah.
Okay. And in your video for Boyfriend, you're at a quinceañera. Did you ever have a quinceañera? Or did you ever go to any?
I didn't know. The concept for that was the director, Tyler Cohen, had this kind of concept. We wanted the video to be really like LA, and I feel like that is a very kind of like LA celebration. Like obviously it happens everywhere, but you see a lot of them like happening in LA on the weekends and stuff. So it seemed like a fitting thing, but it seems like a very extravagant party. I'm sort of jealous I never got to have one.
Yeah, they are good parties. Okay, so Pocahontas may be my favorite band name of all time. What are some of your other favorite band names that you've heard? Like anything off the top of your head?
Oh, that's a hard question. I can't really think of any of my favorite band names.
Okay, well then let me ask you this is another question. Are there any band names you remember off the top of your head that you threw out? Like any close calls?
The original band name, actually, before it was Best Coast, like when I first started writing the songs and like made a MySpace to put demos up and stuff, was called Sun Dried, which was the stupidest name, but I couldn't think of anything, and I wanted something that was like evocative of sun and summer, and I'm Italian, so I was like, oh, it's like Sun Dried Tomatoes, and my bandmate Bob was like, that's the stupidest name, you can't use that, and then Best Coast kind of just appeared, and obviously that's a way better name, so.
Yeah, that's good. That reminds me kind of a little bit of the California Raisins commercials.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so speaking of, like, giving love to the Best Coast and growing up in LA, some people say that, like, everything good and bad is in LA or California. It just depends what you look for. Now, when you were living in New York, or even just by having the band names you have, do you get a lot of people hating on California? And how do you respond to that?
Surprisingly, not really. Like, the first time we ever played in New York, we were like, oh, there's probably going to be some kind of, like, East Coast, West Coast beef thing.
Yeah.
But I think people are, like, I think people are just sort of like, we like the music, whatever. And people have definitely said to me before, like, you know, the East Coast is really the best coast. And I'm just like, that's fine. You can think that. I've experienced both, and I can definitely say that the West Coast is the best coast. But yeah, I don't know. You're always going to have people that hate you for one reason or another, so you just deal with it.
Okay, and so as an artist, I think you've opened up for like Sonic Youth and Weezer at different times. If there was a local band that wanted to open for you, what advice would you give them? How does a band get to open for you?
Just ask us, I guess. I mean, it's weird because when we opened for Weezer and when my old band Pocahontas opened for Sonic Youth, it's like you never really expect that anybody is going to ask you to do that, and then one day you just like check your email and you've been asked to do it. So it's kind of like, you know, I don't know. I think that's sort of like how Best Coast has worked. It's just my expectations I haven't had any, and it's just been like stuff just randomly happens. So I would say if you want to open for Best Coast, just tweet at me or something. I'll probably respond to you.
Would you say you're more of a Twitter person or a Facebook person?
I hate Facebook. I don't have one. I love Twitter, though.
Me too. Okay, so this is your first time hanging out at 98.7. Welcome.
Thank you.
What should we know about, like, give us something we should know about every member of your band.
Okay, well, let's see, there's Bob, and Bob is a very quiet metal guy. He really loves metal, which is really weird because obviously Best Coast is the absolute opposite of metal. But he appreciates pop music, which is why I asked him to join the band. He also loves fried chicken and Jim Beam whiskey, so if you ever see him on the street, you should definitely give him one of those two things, or both. He would take them. Allie, our drummer, is a very, like, she plays the drums, which isn't necessarily, like, a girly girl's, like, instrument, but she's definitely the biggest girly girl I know. She loves, like, makeup and perfume and jewelry and stuff, which I don't know very much about any of those things, so she teaches me. And then there's me, and I'm kind of just, like, you know, the I don't know. I'm just a dork that likes cats and watching bad reality TV shows. So that's what you should know about me.
Okay, and a couple more questions. What's your favorite venue in LA?
Well, I really like the Smell just because I grew up going there. I would go to shows there all the time, and a lot of my friends' bands like played there, and I played in bands there when I was younger, and it's kind of like it's got good memories and stuff. But I think one of my favorite venues to play in LA is we played 2 shows at the Troubadour, and I think that the Troubadour is kind of obviously like a legendary like LA venue, and it's like a really awesome place, and it sounded really good when we played there. So I like the Troubadour, but for nostalgic purposes, I would have to say the Smell is my favorite place.
And last question, every single month we're, picking a new local artist to do the artist in residency. If it were up to you to pick who we should do for May, who would you pick?
Do they have to be from LA? Or
it could be the OC, Southern California.
Let's see. I have friends that are in this band called Dunes, and they actually have opened for us a few times, but my friend Kate Hall is the drummer in that band, and they're really awesome. Like, they have a very like unique thing that I don't think very many bands are doing right now. They kind of have like a gothy pop sort of thing going on, but they're really good. So you should pick them, or people should listen to them, or something. So
okay, cool. Check it out. Well, thanks all month long for Artist in Residency. You guys are going to be hosting 987fm.com. You're pretty much getting like the key to the radio station. So you're going to be like hosting, you're DJing. If you want to come hang out at our penthouse, we've got a performance studio here. Our radio station's your radio station. So thanks again.
Thank you.